Hi everyone, that's Dorota, Palicka International Nail Artist and Educator here, and today we are going to learn how to sculpt a coffin shape nails. It is a favorite type of my nails and you can have a preview of it, what we are going to create today. Cameraman is doing funny faces, that's why I cannot concentrate. But I hope you will really enjoy watching this tutorial and you'll learn a lot as well. Also, if you're new in here, hit the subscribe button as there is lots of tutorials coming up every Monday, Wednesdays and Saturday. Let's start. We are going to sculpt a full set on my hand. It is really rare to see my nails so bare. But actually, guys, I'm so impressed. If you go back and check how my nail beds have been looking, you will be able to see it, especially the ring fingers have been much lower. So the nail bed has extend. It definitely extend a lot on my index finger and the middle finger because I cannot file it even shorter because there is hyponychium in there. But the biggest improvement I can see it is on my ring finger, which is much longer, and that's so nice. Almost not be able to see my fingertip because the nail bed is so long. I have left one nail to show you the nail prep. So when I'm start doing the extensions, first thing which I'm doing is I'm using a blue scrub to dehydrate the nail because I have applying the face cream, I have done the dishes this morning as well, and there might be some oils and other things which I don't want to wrap with my file. Okay, so I'm always would clean it, and you can see the difference now in between this nail, so you can see it. This one is dehydrated, this one isn't dehydrated. There is still tiny bits of the product left because I usually try to do not remove the product completely from my nails. And then using the file, we are going to prep this nail plate so we can apply the nail forms and do the extensions. Obviously, I am right-handed, so at the moment I'm working with my not dominant hand. And again, if you check the videos from the maybe a year ago, you could see that I was doing most of the movements with my right hand and the left hand was steady. At the moment, I'm kind of keeping my right hand more steady and I'm trying to do as much work as possible with my left hand. And I'm quite impressed because I can see a really big improvement how my left hand behaves. Okay, so I have created some scratches. Now we need to clean it around the cuticle area. You want to make sure there is no shiny spaces in there. Okay, so just clean it well. And then you can see it, how nicely the nail is prepped. I'm checking all of them, and if it's necessary, what you could do is using the cuticle pusher, you could go and scrape it, any bits and pieces of the cuticle which might be on the nail plate. Okay, so that's for those of you who don't have an e-file. But also, if you have an e-file, you could do a little bit of the cuticle work with the e-file. And again, e-file was something I couldn't hold with my left hand. At the moment, I'm feeling more confident on doing the work, and as you can see it, my right hand is nice and steady and I'm doing most of it with my left hand, while before it wasn't an option. So it just shows you and proves you that the more you practice, the better you get at anything. Okay, and here this is my, obviously I'm right-handed, so I've got more of the excess of the skin in this place, so I want to file it a little bit, just so it looks nicer. And that's me happy with the nail prep. So let's clean the dust. And sometimes when we do something quick, we might miss a spot or so. So I suggest like you go with your file and you check, okay, I might have some wee shiny place there and maybe one in there, and the rest I'm happy with it. So I'm always doing a final check just to make sure there is nothing on there. Another thing we want to concentrate, you can see there might be some bits and pieces of the nail underneath. You have to make sure this is all clean, otherwise your form wouldn't fit in nice, and also it might affecting the lasting time, like the nails might break in there because you've got some loose bits and pieces of the natural nail. You can see it also my hyponychiums, like on those two nails, that's a living tissue which protects my nail bed from the nail infections. Let's do a dehydration. So I'm using a blue scrub and I'm just cleaning the entire nail plate, nice and squeaky clean. Okay, after this part is done, I can start applying the nail forms. So I'm picking up the first form, and because it is easier for me to prep the forms first, I'm just going to do that. So for the pinky, I don't need to do much, but because of my high nail folds, I just need to trim it on the sides, like a wee cut there and wee cut there. Okay, so that's the form ready for my pinky. I'm going to put it on the side because obviously we are working with the left hand, so I just want my life to be as easy as possible. Then always leave some gap. When you're placing the tab, leave just a tiny wee gap. You don't want to be too close to the place which you might need to cut. Okay? And make sure they are nice and straight, the tabs are closed properly. All those little details really matter. And normally I had to cut out this form so much because my nail bed was finishing somewhere there. So I was cutting out the entire row. I'm actually going to see it if I would be able to place my form without of cutting the entire row. This is actually pretty interesting. Yes, I will be. Wow, this is so impressive. So I'm so chuffed about it because that speeds up the application so much. Of course, each nail we will trim the form different depending depending on the shape of the natural nail and also depending on the nail folds as well. For this nail, I've got the high hyponychium in here, so I'm just checking if I'm able to squeeze the form in there. Yes, I am. I might just cut out those tiny wee space for a hyponychium. Okay, because my natural nail has hyponychium from this side, and then here you can see I've got free edge. I don't need a hyponychium, so this way I'm able to fit in the form better. And then on the sides, I'm cutting out so I can pinch it nice. Okay. You have to remember there isn't such a thing like one form cut for every single nails, because I have had those questions. Guys, I'm reading all your questions, like I do really read all your questions. Me too, cameraman is shouting. So there isn't such a thing like, oh, we should cut the form this way, or we should cut the form this way, or why don't you cut it this way? The forms are to build up the custom set of the nails, and that's mean we need to customize them. So every single nail is going to be cut different, unless they are the same shape and there is the same problem going on with the nail, then we would cut them the same. Okay, so on this nail, I've got really high hyponychium all the way in the middle, and without of cutting those space for a hyponychium, I wouldn't be able to fit in this form. So I need to cut out a decent hyponychium, and on this nail, it is really decent. And then I can check it. That is good. And also I want to be able to pinch it a little bit, so I'm just trimming a tiny bit on the side. This is the easiest set of the nails I have done. Like, I mean, the last time my nails have been bare would be probably about 3 to 4 months, because I usually do it every 3-ish months. So I was cutting the forms slightly different because my natural nails have been different. Okay, let's slide them in. So even if I'm doing for the clients, I prefer to have them close like this, and then I just slide them in, because there is also another way of applying the nail forms, but I find it much more difficult, to be honest, guys. Also, I show you what you don't do as well. Gosh, that is going to be a crazy long video. So first of all, don't leave the tab closed, like do not apply the nail form like this. First of all, it is not pinched, so you are going to get a flat and thick white nail. This has to be always open, and then you could also roll it in and slide it like this. Quite a lot of people do that, and then they release the fingers and then closing the forms. I find it much more difficult, and by closing those tabs very carefully, I can just slide the forms in underneath of the nail, then squish it nice, and the form sits in. So it's quite quick and easy. But let's start doing them in. So that's the pinky first. Also my form, look at the side view. I want my form to go a tiny bit up. The reason for it is I really don't like the nails which are growing down, so I want my form to be slightly up. And then because my form is kind of almost closed, the place I want to concentrate on it is this one here. So at the widest part of my nail, I'm really closing the form, and I can feel it. It sits already tight, but it's even not closed properly yet. And then start closing it completely. Okay, so and I can also close it at there to get an extra support, and this way this form is really steady, like really steady. Okay, so that's the first one in. Then we should have ring finger, a first time ever without of any cutting in there, and I'm going to see it if it will work. So I'm hooking the form, so the form is hooked in underneath of the nail. I will try to show you from every angle. Also, like when we squeeze the form, this is going higher, so it fits in into the natural nail. There is no gap in between the natural nail. So I'm squeezing the form and start closing it. And when we close the form goes also a little bit higher. Wow, I'm so impressed. I didn't have to cut it extremely on this nail. Check if it's going straight, and then start closing even more. Okay, I am really impressed like how my natural nail has changed. So we've got this one. Next one, and I can straight away say it like how the forms are cut, because you can see it. I've got the cut for hyponychium here. Otherwise the form wouldn't go underneath of this nail. Make sure the middle is in the middle. Ideally I should cut out, because this form needs to slide, it slides deeper. I should cut out this part in there, because otherwise I might not be able to pinch well enough, and I'm going to do that now, because if I don't do this now, I'm going to struggle. There we are. So you can see it, each form looks completely different. That's it. It hooks nice in the middle. I can feel it underneath of my nail, and now I can start closing it. And I've got fantastic pinch on this nail. Hyponychium can be pretty sore. I can actually feel it a little bit sore because I'm pushing quite strong against it. I want to show you also this form fit. So that's my hyponychium, the tiny bit of the skin in there, and I cannot push it anymore. But it has to be fit in nice and properly. And then another nail. So that's a huge hyponychium in there. Because this hyponychium is so high, like is so large, ideally I want my forms to go a tiny bit up. But when I place them up, this hyponychium is pushing down into the form. Unfortunately, I just have to ignore it. I cannot cut it out anymore of it. I'm just ignoring those places, and then at the end I can still get a pretty nice underneath of the nail. So I'm just ignoring this place. You can see it. It does bend because there is a skin which is pushing down into it, but at the same time I don't want this form to go too much down because I don't like the nails which grow down. Okay, I'm checking if the forms are nice and straight. Yes, they are. Close them in, and let's move into the step number 2. Nail prep. That's an extra nail dehydrator, and the reason for it is during the form applications we have touched the nails like numbers of times many times, so I want to make sure they are dehydrated properly again. It is all about the nail prep and the dehydration if you want your nails to last long. I also find that if I do not rush with my right hand, done with the left hand, I get a really nice and decent results. The troubles always start when I rush too much. The color I'm going to use is a perfect rose, and you guys know this is my favorite one. Yes, it is my favorite one. So I'm just opening it up. Oh, I should open it before. Okay, that's it, open. And then I'm going to use the oval gel brush. My nail prep has dry, and I can put the universal airborne cameraman. I need you. Don't touch camera. Don't broke, yeah, because we wouldn't have a stuff to record. And then an universal air bond. Universal air bond is a air drying nail primer, which gives a really nice adhesion of the product to the natural nails. If you want, you can apply it twice once it's dry to get an even better adhesion. Okay, so that's the universal air bond. Actually, this one is quite old because in the house I only do my nails. The new ones have the gold lid, so they are much nicer compared to the old ones. Sometimes they do some nice changes for a plus. Okay, so we are going to use this gel, and it's a fantastic one. So when I'm picking up the product on my brush, you can see it, I'm trying to hold it like a pen, like I would be left-handed. I cannot pick up my product on the top side of the brush because obviously I'm going to work this way, so I need to pick up the product on the other side of the brush. So I'm picking up nice and small scoop on the one side of the brush. And now we are going, just so my hands don't shake too much. Okay, and now we are going to apply it into our first nail. Pink is always the terrible one to do. So I'm removing the excess of the product, because if I've got too much product, I would just float my cuticles. And now with the tip, you can see it, the brush has a really nice point. So it's quite nice and easy to do it around the cuticles area. And this layer is so nice and thin that you've got lots of time to play with it and to don't float the cuticles. Okay, so natural nail is done, and then I'm picking up another scoop of the product. Roll this up, there we are. Release at the most danger part where the nail extension can snap. Okay, I want more product in there. And then start shaping my free edge. Why not? I might actually go quite, gosh, I've got always dilemma. I want to go long, but I don't want to go too long. And obviously, the nicer the weather, the more active I am. So I don't want to overdo it. But let's do to turn it on the other side, because we need to add product in there. And because I'm working with such a thin layer, I don't have to worry about the gel running. And the pinky, I'm trying to always do it quite nice and neat with the gel application, because it's quite difficult to file it. Okay, so I've got a nice coffin shape on both sides, and I'm happy with it, so I can give it a cure. I am using the Nail Perfect lamp, and it's quite nice one as it has a sensor. So I'm just sliding my hand in there. settings 60 seconds, and I'm going to cure it half of the time, so 30 seconds. Actually, I should set 30 seconds. And then we can start pinching. To make your life easier and quicker, what you could do is you could just freeze the product for about 15 seconds and then straight away do another one and then freeze for 15 seconds and pinch it. And that's what we are going to do it, because I want to speed up the process of the application. So the product is freezed and it's not going to annoy me and run anymore. Now I'm applying it on another nail. Also, the position, look guys, I'm really working with my left hand. I'm so proud of it. Another tip I can give you is the position you are sitting in. So when I'm doing the designs, I've got a wee chair and this chair height is absolutely fine. Obviously I have no regulated chair in the house. I actually need to invest in one, but to manage from the items I've got, what I did is I have put a wee pillow under my bum so I can be comfy enough, because I need to hold my hand a little bit higher than I'm doing for the nail designs, and this way I just find it much comfier with the wee pillow underneath, so I am a little bit higher, and this is making my life easier when it comes for doing the nails. Okay, my right hand is nice and steady and I'm really working with the left one. So building up those free edge up to the M.5, maybe almost L, why not? And then check the side. Add a tiny bit of the product in this corner. Also, because we are working so thin with this layer, I suggest you do it a little bit more than you need to, just so you don't miss product anywhere. Okay, so I drop more than I need to. I have touched the cuticle on one space, so I'm just going to hurry up and find my cuticle pusher and just remove that. Ideally, I should order some left side handed cuticle pusher. Okay, that's another, no, let's make it longer. I want longer. I want longer. Longer is more difficult always, so let's challenge. And then what we did, we have cured the nails only for 15 seconds. So now I'm going to cure it for another 15 seconds, and that's mean my pinky is ready for a pinch. And I can pinch the pinky and apply the product on another nail. So this is a really big time saver, I think. So pinching clamp going into the pinky. And then give it a cure. And then we are going to cure another 15 seconds so we can pinch another nail. Okay, so let's pinch it another one and then cure it. Straight away, I'm going to pick up another scoop of the product and place it in there. So nice and thin, press it decent so you've got a really, the product is really flush at the cuticle. There's like almost nothing in there. Pick up a scoop, place it at the place where the free edge is, and then sculpt the skeleton. I have created air bubble here, pull it down so there is no air bubble. Air bubbles can be actually quite a big trouble as well, because if you get a lot of them, especially at the stress point, the air bubble is an empty space, so that means your extension is weaker in that space. So make sure you do not create too much air bubbles. The air bubbles creates when you lift your brush too many times and you introduce the air. So ideally try to keep the contact with your brush for the contact of the gel with the brush as much as possible. Also for the pinching, you want to apply your nails as even as possible so the gel pinch evenly. Doing the other side. And then once we're happy, we can cure it. "15 seconds, and then we can remove the pinching gum from the pinky. Okay, so the pinching clamp is removed. The middle finger is freezed. The ring finger is still pinching, and now we can do this one. Okay, nice and thin layer. Clean my brush because it starts becoming messy, and if you've got too messy brush, the things will go messy as well. Okay, so I have just cleaned my brush a little bit. Oh. My goodness, what is that? Okay, control your product and then sculpt the free edge. So for this part, I'm kind of using a brushing motion for the skeleton of the nail more than building motion, like wiggle motion. So it's just brushing in. Other side. And then I can freeze it. So another 15 seconds cure and I will be able to pinch the middle finger, but also at the same time I will be able to build up the structure on my pinky. So for that I'm going to clean the brush. I do really want to clean the brush so it's not messy. This one is nicely pinched. I'm moving the pinching clamp into the middle finger, picking up the scoop of the product to go on the entire pinky. So remove the excess and then build up the structure. So first of all, nice and thin layer through the entire nail. And then pick up the scoop of the product to build up our apex. So for building the apex, you want the product to be on one side of the brush as well. And we're really interested on the side view. So comes in gradually. And then I'm working one side, other side, one side, other side, but still concentrated on the middle of my nail. Okay, like this, clean the brush, and now I'm start helping the gel to get into the right place. Kind of blending it out. And sometimes by the time I do it, look, the gel works on its own for me. I don't have to do anything. That's it, done. That's the nail finished. Cure it. And now I have to cure it again, another 15 seconds, and my index finger is going to be ready for pinch. Okay, clean the brush. and do another nail. So pick up the product. That's a huge air bubble. Get rid of that. We don't want that. And pick up another scoop. Get rid of this form. This nail is fine. We don't need that anymore. This one is beautifully pinched. Absolutely amazing. Actually, this one could be pinched a bit more. And I'm going to pinch this one as well because it's ready. Since this one I want to pinch it more, I'm going to build up the middle finger. So nice and thin, and because it's so thin, we can go very close to the cuticle. Apply the product everywhere. Again, brushing motions. And then once you've got it, pick up a really decent scoop of the product because the apex here needs to be decent. That's quite large nail. So lots of product in there. And then build up the structure. So jump, 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 jump like a wee sprung to release the product from your brush. Place the finger down the way. And I'm really working with both hands at this stage. So one side, other side, one side, other side. Trying to create almost like a reverse smile line. All the way down. Look, I don't go back with my brush. I'm just dragging the product down the way. Then blend it out. Blend it out, and that's my nail finished, and I have not as much of the filing to be done to thick at the end. Okay, now this is starting getting dangerous. I'm playing too long with this product, and in a minute I will have a huge mess. If it does happen, turn the finger upside down, because otherwise you will be just making a really ugly nail and you will have too much filing, and then quickly cure it. For the apex area, because the product is much thicker, I want to cure it slightly longer than the 15 seconds, and also we have pinched all the nails, so I don't have to worry about over curing the product and be not able to pinch. Okay, so I'm just curing a little bit longer this time, and then we can build the apex on the ring finger as well. Okay, that's it done. The product is not going to run anymore. Clean the brush, because messy brush means messy application. This is actually just a dry wipe. I'm just removing the excess of the product. And same in here. Nice and thin. Guys, I hope you are enjoying this video. I'm trying to talk through as much detail as possible. Pick up the scoop for the apex. I love the fresh set. Like, fresh set is always so nice. Wait for the product to come down a little bit, and then spring, spring, spring. So this way the product detached comes off from the brush. And then place the finger down the way, so the gravity does help you. And then you can just build up your apex. I'm not touching like the product which is on the top. And the less you touch, the smoother the surface is going to be. I also look at the pressure of my brush. So the brush is like kind of lying. Lying as in a... Yes, it's not straight. Like, it's not like this, it's just flat. My brush is flat, and I'm just dragging the product down the way without of pressure. Too much pressure will create holes. Here on the bottom I want more pressure because I don't want the end to be too thick. And I've got another beautiful nail. Just touch it up on the sides so we can even it out. And by the time we have finished that, the product will self-level nicely, so we've got less filing, and then cure that in. Gain couple seconds to freeze the product. I don't think so I need that anymore. Once I will start feeling a little heat spike, I'm just going to take it out and do the apex on the index finger. There we are. clean the brush. Now I'm 100% not missing places. Check the other side. I could add a drop more of the product in there, and I'm going to do that. See, that's the thing, is if you don't see the other side. And then build up the apex on the index finger. I think that's the most difficult task, like doing the other side on your natural nails when you're working on yourself. And decent apex. Now working a little bit faster, at least trying. See, what did happen is my hand shake and I have pressed it too hard in one place. So that was creating like a wee hole. That's why I suggest you work like nice and gentle with the gel. If you miss some product, you can still add it on, but then there is no pressure and you're working with a wee string. Okay, that's me happy. Cure it. Always before you take the forms off, we could take them on off after we have built up the skeleton, but before I take them off, I always check how, if there is any missing places, okay? So let me just feel those heat spike. The reason why I like to keep it till I feel the heat spike is I know the product is pure enough, so it's not going to run or I'm not going to damage the nails. Okay, so I'm checking this one. I've got enough. I actually got too much. I've got enough. I can pull the form down. I could add a tiny bit and tiny bit, so I can add 2 dots in there. And I'm also checking the apex as well area. I've got too much product there, but I could do a tiny bit in here. And to be honest, guys, I find it, like, especially when working with my left hand, I find it that it is easier for me to just stop playing about with the nail when the product is wet and I've got so much product, and then just add those missing places, because it doesn't take as much time as trying to fix it and pull the product in there. Okay, this is a really good tip for you guys. Just touch it up once it's cured. Like, you can do it easily. You've got more control over the product, and this one is totally flat. So I'm just missing a wee scoop of the product in this part there. Just in case if this triangle is missing. I am happy, 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 happy. Yes, I am happy. Okay, give them a final cure. So that's a 60 seconds cure, and then we can move on into the shaping. So I have to make sure they are properly cured, but that gives me a time to clean everything. Okay, clean that brush, put it away so it doesn't have any direct sun in there. Clean that. Lint-free nail wipes, and actually they are awesome, guys, as well. If you're struggling to find lint-free wipes, they are really great, and they are lint-free, so they make your life much easier. They are available on our website, which is www.dorotapalicka.com. Actually, all the products which I have used in this video are on our website, and yes, we do post everywhere. So we post to USA, we post to different countries as well. Okay, I'm just removing the inhibition layer from my nails. And I will show you on a 1 or 2 how to file them and make them nice and pretty. So that's how they look after they have been done. First thing which we need to do is we need to do the main form, the main shape. So we want to file away the free edge. Nice and straight, okay, because coffin is my favorite shape, so nice and straight. nice and straight. And nice and straight. So I do not file it completely. I only file away what I really have to file away. Actually do one more, why not? Normally I do it on the one or two because the things are repeating. So I have just filed it. I'm not checking if they even 100%. The next step will be to remove the raggy edges. So I'm just filing the raggy edges off. Okay, file those raggy edges. Same in here. And other side. And again, I'm using my left hand. So normally I used to do it this way. I was moving more of my right hand, but now I'm also using the other hand as well. Look at this pinch. It's so nicely pinched. I love it when they are so pinched. And then file this side. By filing away all those kind of excess, they already look a bit better. The next step I'm going to do it is to file around the cuticle area to blend the product out. Because I don't want to see it where is it starting. So file everything around the cuticle area. Okay, we have filed these parts. Okay, I will do 3 nails. Forget the index finger, because quite often I show you the index finger. I will do those 3 for you. So I have blended out the cuticle area. Again, I didn't do it completely perfect because I don't want to overfile it. The next step would be to smooth out the surface, the overall surface. And I love this movement. The nail goes like C shape, and that's how I'm filing. So one side, other side into a C shape. Okay, you cannot file flat in one place because then your nails becomes flat. You want to follow the curvature of the nail. Do it same. Keep even pressure and make sure, like, look, I've got the finger there, so my filing is even. Okay, and then this one. Check how they look. And now I can see it like the pinky is shorter, so this one is the longest, so I can easily shorten it. And I'm going back to the step number 1. So shorten the free edge. That's a good length now. The next thing is we want the coffin to be coffin, so we want to get it into a V shape, like if you would join the files, like I want that kind of shape. So one side, and I'm doing those V shape. Other side, doing those V shape. And when we do the V shape, this sides become thicker, so I want to bring them up, so I just file like this. And on the other side. Okay. At the angle. I don't want those sides to be thick. You can see the difference is huge. Okay, same on this one. Let's get coffin out of it. So V shape. And since I file it, it becomes thick, so I need to bring it higher up at the angle. You can see it this side, how much nicer it is, and do the same here. So V shape. When filing those V-shape, I'm also losing a little bit of those nice pinch, the way like I'm shortening my lower arches, but I do much prefer it. Like I don't want too low arches because then I feel like I cannot do anything. And then file to the top. And look how much nicer it is. Okay, let's sort out this one. So first of all, the V shape. Other side V shape. And then once we've done the V shape, we need to go up. And the other side. Okay, look how much nicer it is. So we have done this, the sides. We still got uneven product on the top, but I'm usually not too bothered about it. With the file, we can easily buffet it with the buffer, and that will become nice and beautiful. Let me shorten this one so it's the same. And then we are going to repeat those movements, just a couple of the scratches to remove the biggest bulk. Don't do too much of the pressure, just a very gentle pressure. So my file really is going to file the places where I've got too much product. Because if you do too big pressure, your file wouldn't remove the product in the places where you've got too much, but in random places. Okay, then take a buffer. And that's 100 by 180 buffer. And we are going to smooth them out and make them nice and pretty. And then that's our set of the nails finished, done with the not dominant hand, with lots of tips for you how to do it, how to make it easier for you. Okay, you can see it how much nicer it is. And after I've done the bulk of the filing, what I might do is I might clean it and I might search if there is any other nail imperfections which I could touch up with the buffer. So if I would be really fussy, I could blend that out a little bit more, and I could blend that out a little bit more, and I would just go and smooth it out. Ideally, again, I don't want to put too much pressure. I want my buffer to, like, I could do it with the closed eyes, guys, because it's more about the feeling than looking at it at this stage. Like, there is no pressure. I'm just really removing the product where I've got too much. I'm removing the product where it's too much. Okay, just perfect that out. And then depending how fussy you are, you just stop when you kind of satisfied. I could keep going like this till tomorrow morning. I also want to show you the shape as well, like you can see it. That's it, is nicely pinched. We've got the apex, all nice and beautiful. So I'm just going to clean that, file this one, do the thumb, and then take a beautiful thumbnail picture. And I hope you have guys really enjoyed this back to basic video. I'm sending you lots of glittery hacks, and bye for now.